What it do? What's up, y'all? It's your boy Elijah James from Elijah James TV, and today I'm bringing y'all another breakdown of the NFL. Today we'll be taking a look at the Detroit Lions taking on the Baltimore Ravens this Monday at 8:15 Monday Night Football, and we got a good one on our hands. This game was voted by you guys on my Instagram at Elijah James TV. Make sure that y'all go ahead and follow so you'll be able to vote weekly on what games you want me to break down. This was picked by y'all guys, and it wasn't even close. Like, I'm gonna show y'all a picture of what the poll was. It wasn't even close. Like, y'all didn't even give the other games a chance. Make sure that y'all go ahead and follow so we can see what game y'all want to break down for week 4. As always, y'all know the drill at this point. Make sure that y'all leave a like. Make sure that y'all leave a comment. Make sure that y'all subscribe. Make sure that y'all follow. Go ahead and follow all my socials. It's all at Elijah James TV on YouTube, on Facebook, on Instagram, on TikTok, so on and so forth. I ain't gonna waste no more time. Let's go ahead and get into this game. Let's start first and foremost by saying both of these teams are coming off of a beatdown on both of their divisional opponents. We got the Lions putting up a lot to a little against the Bears, and then we got the Ravens putting up a lot to a little against the Cleveland Browns, but that's as expected. So I'm not gonna lie to y'all, this breakdown ain't really gonna be that in depth, because not only is it only week 3 of the NFL season, but it's the Browns and the Bears, y'all. Like, what y'all want me to take away from them beating the Browns and the Bears? Like, they ain't gonna sniff the playoffs. So, like, what you all want me to do? All right, so let's go ahead and get into it. So I first want to start with the Detroit Lions. This is our first time breaking them down this season. I seen some things that I like and I didn't like from that Bears game. So let's start with the defensive side of the ball. And there were some holes that I did see on the Lions side of things. It wasn't terrible because it's the Chicago Bears. Like, the Chicago Bears gonna beat themselves every single time. Like, it doesn't even matter what they do. They could put up the best numbers, are they're still going to end up losing by 1. It's the Bears. The defense is kind of the same in a way. They lost some pieces. They got some new pieces in as well. But when it comes to that Bears defense, they're still a strong defense. They're probably going to be the second best in their division behind the Packers, of course. They still get after the quarterback. They still got that D-line. They still got Aiden Hutchinson coming off of the edge, doing his thing. He's always going to find a way to get back to the quarterback. Like, that's a player that you're going to have to double team if I'm on the Ravens side of things. Obviously, keep an eye out on him. One thing I did notice at the beginning of this Bears-Lions game, the Bears O-line and DeAndre Swift, they were able to run the ball on this defense. It seems like to me the Lions D-line is a little bit weaker than it was last year, because you see teams starting to run on them a little bit more, way more than usual. Like DeAndre Swift, he had him a good game until he fumbled, of course, but they were able to easily run on the Lions defense. If you take a look at that first drive, Caleb Williams and DeAndre Swift and the crew, they were able to move the ball effectively. Caleb Williams, he's a weird case because he's good, but he's ass at the same time. I don't even know how to explain it. That first drive against the Lions defense, he had a clean pocket the whole time. Like, that Lions pass rush isn't as good as it used to be. Like I said, both in the run game and in the pass game, that D-line, that pressure is not as prominent as it used to be. But of course, they found a way home because it's the Bears. But it's not as good as it used to be. When it comes to the DBs, they got some solid DBs. They got Terrion Arnold out of Alabama. They got Brian Branch. They got some players on the defensive side of the ball, so they'll be able to, I think, give the Ravens some fits on the offensive side of the ball. I just don't know how much. But the Lions defense, like I said, it does look a little bit weaker. I think they are missing Aaron Glenn a little bit, who's now the head coach of the New York Jets. Because in my opinion, I think he's one of the best defensive minds of the game. They now have Kelvin Shepard running a lot of the defense, but I think Dan Campbell also plays a part, because Dan Campbell, that man he used to be in the league, so I'm pretty sure he has his hand on what he wants the defense to do. I feel like Dan Campbell's calling all the shots. But all in all, it's not really too much to take away. This breakdown is not really gonna be that all in depth, y'all, because like, what do y'all want me to do, man? The Lions beat up on the Bears per usual, like. And then if you seen the final score of the game, it's like, bro, like, what am I even looking at? Like, this game was over in the middle of the third quarter. Like, there wasn't really much to look at. Well, that's it. That's all I got from the defensive side of the ball. So now let's move over to the offense. Jared Goff, he's coming off of a career game. He had 5 touchdowns. And shout out to that man, because I started him in fantasy that week, and he put up, I think it was 37 points. Bless his soul, because I needed him to put up all 37 points so I can get that win. Jared Goff had all day in the pocket to throw whatever he wanted to. Yeah, he was just sitting back there chilling. He could have called his girl. He could have made him a Subway sandwich. He could have went into the locker room, changed, came back, and still completed the pass to Amon-Ra St. Brown, like, no issue. And speaking of Amon-Ra St. Brown, we finally seen his breakout game. I believe he had 2 touchdowns. I may be wrong. I know he for sure had 1, but we finally seen his breakout game. I think Amon-Ra is a top 10, top 13 receiver in this league. So I think that the Ravens really do need to key on him. Another receiver or tight end, I should say, that that Jared Goff loves to target. He loves Sam Laporta. He's his safety blanket. He's damn near a receiver. He's like that. I'm not comparing him to Travis Kelce, but he's like that Travis Kelce type. He can go line up at wide out, but he can also put his hand in the dirt, make a block. He can, get out of his stance in the 3-point stance and go and run around and everything. So, all of the above. So Sam Laporta is a really good tight end to have that adds to their offense and, adds another layer to it. The Bears didn't really have anybody on defense that can get to the quarterback. The only person that did get to the quarterback was Montez Sweat. He did get a sack off on Jared Goff, but I don't think that there's anybody else on that D-line that was able to get past the Lions O-line. I will say the Lions O-line is still pretty solid. I think it's a little bit weaker than it was last year, but that might be because of Ben Johnson's scheming and getting the ball out, so it might have covered up a lot of it. But the Bears defense, man, is the Bears defense. I don't know what you want me to say. Also along Amon-Ra and Sam Laporta, you also had Jameson Williams, who could take the top off at any point in the game. Like he's been really quiet, but I think it was like two deep passes that Jared Goff connected with him with that set him up for a touchdown. So he's a deep ball threat that the Ravens DBs definitely got to worry about, and I think that will be a serious worry in this game. Like, I don't really know what else is there to say about a 30-plus point blowout. And like I said, it's the Chicago Bears. What the hell? Like, what? One thing I will say, though, and Dan Campbell is known to do this. One thing I will say about this Lions offense, or just the Lions in general, and Dan Campbell, I don't really like how they ran up the score on the Bears. Like, why is Jared Goff still in the fourth quarter? Like, you just stat padding at this point. Not saying that I think that's going to come back to bite him, but there's such thing as football karma, and we seen it last year. They was beating down on people, like how the way they beat down on my poor Cowboys. Like, goddamn, what the hell we do? Like, why you had to beat down on us like that? But that shit ended up coming to bite them back in the ass when they ended up playing the Commanders in that divisional game. That ended up coming. That karma came back to bite them. You keep beating down on teams. I believe in football karma, so that's another thing that you got to look out for. I don't think that's necessarily gonna be the end-all be-all for this Monday's game, but you just don't do that, man. Like, why are you putting up 50 points? Unless you absolutely have to, and it's a shootout, you don't have to score 50 points to beat the Bears. You don't even got to put up 20 points to beat the Bears, so let alone 50. But in terms of how the way I think the Lions will match up with Baltimore's defense, I think that D-line is going to give Jared Goff way more issues than the Bears D-line, obviously. Definitely expect Jared Goff to have a little bit more issues manning that offense and trying to drive down the field, because now he'll actually be playing a real defense this week. So now let's go ahead and get over back to the Ravens. Let me say one thing really quick, y'all. I beg y'all, please, when it comes to these breakdowns, I need y'all to start picking different teams. I need y'all to start even since last year when I started doing these. This is like my 5th time breaking down the Ravens from last year going into this year. This is only my 3rd video and we on the Ravens again, y'all. Like, I get it. Like, y'all want to see the marquee matchups. Y'all want to see the best teams and things like that. But we need to get a scope of the whole league, because we don't know what's going to happen in this regular season. It's still early. Some teams going to drop off. Some teams is going to rise back up. So when y'all do vote on my Instagram, at Elijah James TV, please pick some different teams, man. Like, I want to look at different teams. I don't want to keep looking at the Ravens. I don't want to keep looking at the Eagles, and I don't want to keep looking at the Chiefs. Like, there's 32 teams in the NFL. I hope y'all do know that. But regardless, let's go ahead and get to the Ravens. Against that Browns team on Sunday, I'm not going to lie, it was a game in that first half. Not going to lie to you. In my personal opinion, I think the Browns defense is really underrated. Like, it's the Browns, don't get me wrong. They're trash, don't get me wrong. But I think they have a good front seven that can give anybody fits in this league. They're playing in a tough division with the Ravens, and then you got the Steelers, and then you also got the Bengals. So that defense is going to be seeing some of the more high-octane offenses in the NFL. So look out for that Browns defense to, pick things up as the season progresses. But it's all led by that dog, by that man-child, Myles Garrett, man. Like, that man is such a freak. Even in this game, I will say they had to double him a lot. Or he was going to get home to Lamar a couple of times. And he actually did get home to Lamar, I think twice, and that was when they were on single coverage blocking Myles Garrett. they probably gonna have to put 2, maybe 3 bodies on him to protect Lamar, or Lamar is gonna be running for his life. That defense, I mean, like I said, that defense was all over them, but I don't want to put too much stock into it because it's the Browns. Like, it's the Cleveland Browns, y'all. Y'all got old Grandpa Joe Flacco playing quarterback. Like, what do you want me to do with that? And another thing, the Browns secondary is banged up. They're missing one of their best corners. They're missing Martin Emerson, and I think that plays a big part. But like I said, that front seven is going to cover up a lot for the Browns. I think it was only like a 10-point game going into halftime until they opened things up in the third. But don't undervalue that Browns defense. Like, it's the Browns. Yes, it's the Browns and their ass. But don't just overlook them. I think they're going to actually, come along this year. One thing I will say when it comes to the Browns offense against the Ravens defense, them DBs are a little suspect. I'm not going to lie. Them DBs, they've been letting a lot of receivers get off on them. Like, even in that Bills game, like, why was it that close? It shouldn't have gotten that close. I mean, I know you're going against Josh Allen and that high-octane offense, but some of the passes that was given up in that game, it shouldn't have happened because of the secondary. We expect the secondary to be, the cream of the crop of the league, but they give up a lot of big plays. I feel like they do good with stopping a lot of, short passes and intermediate passes. But when it comes to those deep balls, they break a little bit. I think the offense, the Ravens offense covers up a lot of the flaws of that defense. Like, the defense could, especially in that Browns game, you're going against the Browns offense can't do shit. So the Ravens offense did cover up a lot of the mistakes I did see with the Ravens defense. Like, for example, Njoku, I think he had a pretty decent game. Jerry Jeudy had a pretty good game. Judkins, I know it was a little bit later in the game, but he was able to run on them a little bit. So this defense, it's definitely weaker than from last year. I know they have a lot of the same players and everything like that. I don't know what it is, but it's just not looking the same. I know I said the same thing about the Lions, but it's a whole new season and everything. But I between the Buffalo game and then this Browns game, I'm not really liking what I'm seeing from the defense. One player that I will say is like the bright spot in that defense is Kyle Hamilton, man. Like, he shows you every week in and week out, why they signed him that big contract. When he comes down, if he sees somebody running a slant, if he sees somebody running a dig or a drag, he is a missile flying down and he's looking to crack somebody's head open. Like, I think he's arguably probably one of the best DBs in the league right now, hands down. Roquan Smith, he had that big play where I forgot who got the sack, but the ball popped out of Joe Flacco's hand and he was able to take it back to the house, which kind of ended up sealing the game. Roquan Smith, he's the leader of that defense and he mans the middle pretty well. He's a run stopper. He's not really that good in the passing game. He is a little bit, I don't want to call him slow because, it's the NFL, but, his weak points is getting him to drop back in coverage. His strong point is him stopping the run. But with the D-line, they are swarming. They do get to the quarterback, but Joe Flacco did have some pretty decent pockets to throw the ball in that game. Like, I know he didn't put up crazy numbers, but there were certain plays, there were certain third downs where it's like, all right, let's go ahead and get to this quarterback and get off the field. But they weren't getting to him fast enough. And if you got a vet like Joe Flacco, who's been playing this game since 1832, he's going to find a way and find a receiver to get that first down. And it happened a couple times in that game. When it comes to this Ravens D-line with Jared Goff ain't going to have all day to throw the ball. Like, he's going to need to, figure some things out with his receivers. And with that type of offense, they'll move the pocket. They'll create a short pass game on Amon-Ra and Jameson Williams and Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery. So, they'll figure it out. But like I said, Goff ain't going to have that much time as much as he did with the Bears. Like, the D-line, I do have my question marks with them, but that they should give Jared Goff way more issues than he experienced with the Bears. So now let's go to the offensive side of the ball with the Ravens. This is probably easily top 3 offense in the league. Like, they can do it in all phases. They can do it in the run game. They can do it in the short pass. They can do it in the intermediate pass. They can do it with the deep ball. They can score on all levels. You got 2-time MVP Lamar Jackson manning that offense. And I will say, I think this is probably the most comfortable I've ever seen him dropping back and throwing the ball. Like, he had his best season last year, but there were a few times where it looked like he got a little uncomfortable with some of the pressure that he was dealing with. But I don't know if that's more of a testament to the O-line just blocking great for him. I don't know if that's more so the Browns defense just kind of be an ass outside of Myles Garrett. But Lamar looks really relaxed. He had plenty of time to throw the ball and, deliver the ball to different receivers. One thing that stands out to me the most is that Lamar Jackson, Zay Flowers connection is becoming really strong. Like, Zay Flowers looks really good. Like, this is what I was expecting from him last year. Don't get me wrong. He was doing his thing last year, but he was injured a lot. But it seems like this offseason, I've seen a couple of clips of Lamar and Zay Flowers putting in work down in South Florida and getting that wide receiver quarterback connection. And it's evident when you see them play, especially in that Browns game. Zay Flowers had him a good game. You obviously still got Mark Andrews as that tight end when he's not dropping the damn ball to win the game against the Bills. I'm still not over that, y'all, if you can't tell. Another addition to this wide receiver room is DeAndre Hopkins. DeAndre Hopkins, like, don't get me wrong, he's not that 10 catches, 100 yards receiver, but he's that 3 catches and all 3 catches are going to be for 20 plus. Like, even at his age, he is still one of the best difficult catch makers in this league. He had him, I think, 2 different catches in this Browns game where it was just like, he's still that boy. But my main concern, y'all, I'm not gonna lie. My main concern is this man, Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry, y'all, like, he needs to cover up the motherfucking ball, man. Like, he needs to cover up the ball. This is the second week in a row where he had a fumble. He had that crucial-ass fumble at the Bills game that honestly costed them the game. Like, he has to cover up the ball when he's going. If you're going to be carrying 4, 5, 6 motherfuckers to the end zone, bro, you have to cover the ball. Like, they obviously can't tackle you. You need to cover up the ball because they're going to punch out. I don't know who the DB on the Browns was, but he had a punch out on Derrick Henry because he wanted to carry the whole damn defense into the end zone or to the first down. Like, Derrick Henry, like, I think it's going to get better as the year progresses, but, like, that's my main concern right now. Derrick Henry, he's a dog. He's big as shit. He's always a threat to go ahead and break for a home run touchdown, but even in this Browns game, he didn't even have the best game, to be truly honest. But that's gonna happen from time to time. But I really need this man to cover the ball because when I told you he sold me so much money in that Bills game, y'all, that was the absolute worst time to give the ball up, and it was because he was trying to break, I think, 2 or 3 tackles. He had like 3 people on him, and that third person was able to punch that ball out. So how do I see the Ravens offense going up this Lions defense? I see the Ravens offense, they're going to be able to run the ball. Like I said, the Lions D-line is good, but it's not getting that same push as it did last year. So hopefully if Derrick Henry can hold on to the goddamn ball, we should see a pretty good game out of him. Hopefully he gets into the end zone. And then when it comes to them receivers, if that O-line can hold up the Lions pass rush, the receivers will find a way to get open. Zay Flowers will find a way to get open. And even if not, I think with that offense, Todd Monken is going to find a way to get the ball to his playmakers. He's going to find a way to get it to Zay Flowers. He's going to find a way to get it to Mark Andrews and DeAndre Hopkins and so on and so forth. Another thing I wanted to touch on with the Ravens defense, that Lions wide receiver core might give the Ravens DBs some issues. Like, I think I probably said it not too long ago. Like, they can't keep giving up these big plays, y'all. So I'm expecting to see a big game out of Laporta. I'm expecting to see a big game out of Amon-Ra. And I'm looking to see Jameson Williams is probably going to get him a deep ball. Like, he's probably going to get one of these deep balls. I don't know what's going on with the DBs. I'm excluding Kyle Hamilton out of this because he's been balling. But the rest of the DBs, like I said, a lot of it was covered up because you are playing the sorry-ass Browns, but they got to get that situated. So look out for them Lions wide receivers to, maybe have a breakout game. But if I had to predict a score in this game, I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. The defense will show up at certain times. But if I had to put a number on it, I think it's going to be like a 37-30, a 37-30 type of score. And who I got winning this game, I don't know if y'all can tell by my voice and how the way I kind of went through this breakdowns. I got winning this game. The Ravens should take care of business. It's at home. You're going against a potential Super Bowl, contender, Super Bowl matchup. And they need to take care of business. Like, they took care of the Browns and the Lions took care of the Bears, but now both sides are going to be getting up for this game. It's Monday Night Football. Like I said, it's going to be in Baltimore, who I think, in my personal opinion, I think they got one of the toughest stadiums to play in. So I think that home field advantage is going to come into play with Baltimore. It's going to be at night. I don't know what it is with Baltimore at night playing, but they're a completely different beast, especially when they're at home. But yeah, y'all, that's it. Like I said, these videos gonna be real short with these first couple of weeks of the NFL season. I need to see more tape. I need to see more game film and seeing how these teams are playing against each other as the season progresses. But that's gonna do it for this breakdown. Like I said, y'all, please, man, like, I know y'all love the Ravens and the Eagles and all these other teams, but like, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not breaking down the Ravens for another 2 weeks. I want to see how that plays out. I want to take a look at some other teams. So make sure that y'all go ahead and vote at Elijah James TV on my Instagram. I'll post a poll every Monday or Tuesday of which games y'all want me to break down. And y'all just make sure y'all vote, make sure that y'all interact. We trying to grow this channel, y'all. Like, I know this is the, first couple of videos on this channel. I'm not expecting to blow up overnight. I mean, God willing, I'll be very thankful if it does, but let's go ahead and keep building up. It's gonna be a slow grind, and I hope y'all coming along the ride with me. Thank y'all for tuning into this video. Make sure that y'all stay tuned for some content. I got a vlog of the Jags-Texans game that's going on this Sunday coming out. I'll probably drop that maybe Tuesday, maybe Monday, depending on what I got going on with my schedule. But that should be a good game in itself. If you want me to give you a quick prediction on that game, I am gonna be a little bit biased because I did get, an inside look at the Jacksonville Jaguars, and it's gonna be at Everbank Stadium. But I got the Jags winning this game. The Texans, they don't look good. Like, how in the hell did you let Baker Mayfield and the Tampa Bay Bucks do that to y'all? They shouldn't have came back in that game. So I'm expecting to see the Jags win that game. But I'll bring that vlog to y'all later on in the week. So make sure y'all stay tuned for that. Make sure y'all check out some of my UFC videos. We've been doing really good with that. I post a lot of my sports betting slips on my Instagram at Elijah James TV. Make sure y'all keep up with that. You'll see me post clips on my TikTok. Like, I'm trying to make sure I stay active and give y'all the content that y'all want to see. So make sure that y'all follow, make sure that y'all like, make sure that y'all subscribe, make sure that y'all comment on this video. Like I said, if y'all think I'm an idiot and I don't know what I'm talking about, let me know. I'll go into them comments and argue with y'all, no issue. Let me know. But that's gonna do it, y'all. I appreciate y'all tuning in. Thank y'all. I'll see y'all next week. Peace.